groups among the students and all, it will be possible, and they don't have to be physically together, but they remain connected through internet. So these are new ways of learning. These are, of course, more, it is possible in higher education. This is even more, this has more potentiality, but in secondary and higher secondary stage also it is eminently possible. And it is happening in many schools, and this is catching up. For example, our Kendriya Vidyalayas and Navodaya Vidyalayas, which are central government school systems, we have about 1,500 such schools throughout the country. They are all very well ICT enabled now. And under this ICT in school scheme, we have a twin objective. One is that every high school student, by the time he or she passes out, must acquire certain minimum competency in ICT usage. So this is that is to equip them to cope with future. The second but more important objective is to enable teaching and learning using ICT as a leverage. So this is to make teaching interesting and enjoyable. So the teachers use ICT in the classroom. Similarly, students also use ICT to learn. So it can be self-tutorial kind of learning, self-learning. So how to enable, and this requires capacity building of teachers so that they can use ICT in an effective way. I think many of you here are also engaged in teaching, capacity building of teachers in your own way. But I think under this scheme we are creating a framework, and the new revised scheme has kind of regular capacity building programs. The first time, because there are large number of teachers who have not been trained. I think somebody said that earlier in the pre-service training programs there was no concept of use of ICT because ICT was not there. It is now there. We have actually put out a draft national curriculum for teachers education recently, and there ICT is part and parcel of every pre-service training course, and of course it is yet to be finalized, but definitely this is going to stay, and all teachers training institutions must have this component, and this will be a compulsory component. Its usage, and thereafter every year there would be regular in-service training program separately only for ICT. This is in addition to, under RMSA we have the teachers in-service training program every year, but this is in addition to that. So hopefully with that, over a period of 2 to 3 years, every teacher in the country will be enabled to use ICT effectively. And as I mentioned, every school in the country will have certain required ICT infrastructure and connectivity. The Ministry of Communication has already announced its plan that again in the next 3 years, every village in the country will have broadband. It may not be through wire. In remote places and all, there will be WiMAX, there will be wireless connections and all, but it is possible or through satellite. And even if it is not 100%, even if we cover 90%, 95%, I think that will be a very big achievement. And many times even without internet connectivity, kind of connectivity can be simulated as far as the school, secondary school system is concerned, so that all that is required for the children to surf and all, it will be possible to create that kind of a simulated situation. And large number of things which now in the village schools are not able to do. In fact, in some of the states you would find why there is less enrollment to science courses in the undergraduate stage is because in the high schools they have never seen a science laboratory, and naturally they are afraid to go for science. But ICT will also solve this problem because there could be simulated experiments. Then the project-based learning can be strengthened using ICT. We are also determined that all our classrooms must be fully inclusive in future. So we have actually launched another scheme called Inclusive Education for the Disabled Children, because we don't want to separate children who have some disability to a special school. We would like to put them into the normal school, because then it helps in two ways. The disabled children don't feel discriminated, or they don't feel that they are something different. Also, the normal children feel kind of a empathy, and actually in that sense nobody is normal, nobody is disabled, everybody has some disability. If I cannot sing, I have the disability that I can't sing. So somebody so that inclusive school is that all kinds of children are in the same classroom and the teachers know how to handle them, and that will be again possible in a big way with the use of ICT, because different kind of disabilities can be handled in different ways, and this becomes much easier. So these are then about content. Availability of content is of course extremely important, and that has been kind of neglected to some extent. Also that good content, actually it requires a lot of effort to prepare good content. It's not easy. So I think somebody said that it is costly and all. Naturally, if it is good content, it will be costly. But if good content is used by a large number of people, I think per capita cost can come down drastically. So cost is not in the long run. I don't think cost will come in the way of having good content, and particularly in a country like ours. We of course need to have content in different languages, because we have a large number of it. Cannot be only in English or Hindi, the regional language, but that is not a barrier at all. And again, we are not advocating that one set of e-content should be used by everybody throughout the country. Then there will be no innovativeness, there will be no kind of motivation for the teacher, and we will be only producing copycats. So that is not what is intended. So there should be good content available, but sky is the limit. People can 100 flowers can bloom, so many people can develop content, and people can distinguish good content from bad content. So this can be done by the government, it can be done by the private sector, it can be done by academic institutions. So it can be a kind of combined exercise, and there are so many subjects, so many courses. It's not only the in the high school that we have 5 compulsory subjects, but in the higher secondary stage you have so many electives. Then vocational stream is going to become quite critical, and we are also going to have a vocational education scheme where just like the academic subjects, people can specialize in certain skills, and it will be completely equivalent to a higher secondary certificate. And there are so many different vocations. So there is large scope for development of e-content. Also,